Kimbo Kimbo na Tata nZambi ya Mazulu. Greetings and Fumo Kyakuisa. Greetings, everyone. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be. Good morning. I want to make this video. Salama, Kyambote away, Nusiemi. Uvuvamo, Salbona, Dumalang, Kyambote. To all the Bantus that are scattered across the world and non-Bantus that may be watching this broadcast, I say greetings. This is not going to be too long a video, but I feel it's something that really needs to be done. Why I say that is because the spirit within me, the spirit of the Most High that rests within all of us in this awakening that's trying to, many of us, we're going to receive a much more heavier dose of that when the time comes. But for this awakening, it's for the purpose of helping us get prepared. This is going to be a video that doesn't just speak to the people who are watching, but to myself also, because this is something that's going to be all about the time when the Most High will finally bring everyone before his throne to be given to their eternity, where they will spend their whole eternity. First, I want to give honor Kembo to Tata nZambi and Pungu Talendo, the Most High Kongo that makes all things happen possible. Everything is done through him. Nothing is done without him. And honoring all the Saya Kongo, the nZambi, the Maliki Kongo, those who are also our ancestors that are also Maliki Kongo, honoring all of these people in this Bantu awakening through this truth. I give greetings. Looking forward to, I'm going to actually be checking out some other videos that people haven't seen in a while, hopefully after this. But this is something that is really crucial, I believe, in this time. And, I'm going to go back to the origins of why the Most High's people remain scattered, that many people aren't even aware of the real truth, that many things have been brought out, that have been done in secret halls and places where the intent was to hide the truth from those who needed to know it, and to keep those in the darkness thinking that they always had the truth, when their intention was to deceive the whole world, as it says in Scripture, Revelation 12. What I'm going to say in this teaching is that many of us have to recognize that the reason why we still sit where we are today, why many things as they're coming and unfolding in the Most High's time have yet to come about, why many people continue to doubt what they think they know, or choose to cling to what they've been taught, or think who's right, who's wrong about different things. The whole purpose of why the Most High is doing what he's doing today, even among many proud nations, as his humbling continues, and he's going to continue to bring more humbling as he continues his judgment. So we're going to start with 1 Corinthians 6, where he's talking about Paula. There are any of you having matters against another, go to the law before the unjust and not before the saints. Now, of course, this is something that many Christians feel that this is their title throughout history, and they're free to believe that if they so choose. Many other beliefs think that same thing about themselves, Hebrew Israelites. But those of us who are now coming to the knowledge of the real understanding of things and the many deceptions, we understand what he's really referring to about the saints. And it says, do you not know that the saints shall judge the world? And if the world shall be judged by you. Now remember, the context continues to be altered to favor the Gentiles, when in reality, this is really favoring, as we know, the Yaounde, Yisolele, those who have received the Messiah, Yeshaya, because it says to the Jew first, which we know really is Yahudi, the modifications that were made so that those who say they are but are not can take the place. Okay, that it says, know you not, and if the world be judged by you, are you unworthy to judge the smallest matters? Know you not that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life? Okay. And I know I did a previous video where I said the angels know who can judge them. In order to do that, if we recall through the teachings of Brother Massa, when he talks about that Adama, for many who people don't know the real truth about that particular recreation of the Most High, his image was put above the Malakis because he was in the image of the Most High. He was a God figure. And we know the truth about how the Malakis, they had, now we know they had images of themselves as well, which is why it says we shall make images. Let us make man in our own image is really referencing to more than just Adama, which makes the reason why when Satan made the one in his image, why he was concerned about how he would be treated by the others, that they kind of hide that. Okay. That the world indeed has been deceived by certain doctrines. Now, the problem that we're dealing with today, especially in this awakening, is the concept that just because the revelation hasn't been revealed to you, or you think the revelation is inaccurate, you're making the assumption that the person is not worthy of connection. Now, and I love it. I loved it when Pastor Mello said, "Truth is truth, no matter who says it." Many people focus on Malcolm. Malcolm was a Muslim, which was a non-existence when Yisolele was a kingdom. The first time, actually, well, not the first time, but the time of Isaiah. Okay, and we still value many of the things that he brought to the table. Now, when we look at even what's going on in Christianity, there are preachers who do preach certain truths, but their context is to focus on something that was intended to create confusion, not to bring unity. which is why you have so many different denominations of it, and so many different, you have so many different perspectives. Must come to the realization, you know, just like, for example, who am I to question this brother when he told me he was a Mandinka? When he said, of course, the Incas are the Mandinkas. The intention of those who were trying to hide the history, which we know who came along with the conquistadores, who was with them, was to erase certain truths about how we were scattered. When they say, well, yeah, we built a replica of Jerusalem in Peru, the Perusalem. No one believed this guy that wrote the book, because in his mind and everybody else's mind, well, the Ashkenazi people are the real Jews, so when did they ever build something over here? Of course, even the spot that's in Asia, which the Vatican had the British kind of eradicated when they found that one, which is why the Chinese have off limits to certain areas there. And also like what happened in Namibia, where when I talked to a brother who was from South Africa, he says, yeah, to even try to go to those ruins, excuse me, you will face persecution and possibly even they will shoot you, they will kill you. So you have to ask yourself, what's so critical that the government officials of certain caliber will not even allow you to see these ruins? Now, I remember when the Most High revealed to me what was built here in America, which is one of the reasons why the Mormons think what they think, because there was a version of it here. That doesn't mean it was the original. I'm just saying, you know, that unfortunately, we have a tendency as a people, and this has been the downfall of the Bana Betu, is to assume jealousy of one another over revelation or of who the Most High favors. Okay. Hence the reason why we got put on the slave ships in the first place, because that led to us, our disagreements led to us focusing on other beliefs that we should never have done. Especially when many of the beliefs we focused on, we were the ones that invented them in the first place. So a lot of this time and age, we know that there are certain keys to restoring the kingdom of the Most High, which is something that the enemy is going to work feverishly to create. Interesting. You know, that many of us do not comprehend what Paula is saying, that in order for us to be in a position to where we can judge angels, we must return to the mindset of not just the first Adam, but the second Adam, who was trying to teach this concept to us, that it's not about you, it's about the Most High. It's about the Spirit and what the Spirit teaches and who understands the Spirit's teachings. And that not everybody's going to receive everything according to the Spirit, but will receive based upon what their levels are. This is why when people learn the Mzungu milk at the lowest level and see all the knowledge that's being spread around through Christianity, they get puffed up with knowledge as if and they walk around like they've been revealed the whole deal. They got everything figured out. They know this, they know that. They understand scripture backwards and forwards, you know, according to their understanding of where the things have been taught. But yet there's so many holes in the doctrine. Like when you go to ask them certain questions, well, what is this really talking about? Do you understand the context of what the Creator is saying here? For example, when you say the Most High is going to have his people that he has selected to judge angels, is he really going to put people who still live in worldly mindset in a position of spirituality that they assume that they have, but yet they don't demonstrate it? Where's the power? Like it says, I'm going to go to Romans, where it says, this is the reality of it. In the day when the Most High, remember here it says, the Most High, Tata, nZambi, shall judge the seekers of men by Yesaya according to my gospel, which he's talking about. Behold, thou art called this is not a convert, this is blood. This is not a convert or adopted, this is by blood. This is the deception, because there are those who know who the ones by blood really are. And restest in the law, and makest thou boast of the Most High. For you are saying that you, according to the Most High, are worthy of the position of being Yisolele or Yaounde, and that you rest in the law, and makest thou boast. He knoweth his will. And approvest the things that were made more excellent, being instructed out of the law. See, the problem is, especially now with what we're trying to accomplish, is you ask any Christian, any Muslim, any Jew, so-called, what really is the will of the Most High? Do they truly know the answer? Do you really know the will of the Most High? And this is the significant part of what puts you and myself and others who have come to understand certain things about this world that have been hidden from many, that this is where the devil or Shaitani has manipulated those around this very thing, this very statement. He knoweth his will. The Most High knows his own will. How many people actually ask him what it is? Or do they always just automatically assume that we're doing the will of the Most High? And this goes for even the most seasoned person, okay, and what they have learned and what they are taught and what they know about scripture, okay, is that they have already come to the understanding that from the position that they teach, they're coming with the authority that they know the will of the Most High. And this is why so many people today say they know the will of the Most High, but cannot demonstrate the power that goes with it, which is exactly what it talks about in 2 Timothy. This know also in the last days See, this is why, especially when you're talking about Christians and what's going on, especially with this, Rona, I'll say it like that, and all the other things that are happening, like the floods, the buildings falling, all these different things, you know, earthquakes, wars. It says it in Timothy. This know also that in the last days, perilous times shall come. Now remember, once again, the context can be manipulated as to who his audience is really focused on. And this is the deception that many people have been able to manipulate about who he's really talking about. And at this point in time, unless you're still one of these people blinded to the reality of things, you should know that he's talking about the Gentiles mostly, and also the Jews, those who are the real Jews who are still living in jealousy, pride, and various things. So he's saying, for Muntu, men shall be lovers of their own selves. Not just men, because we know what St. Jerome did, but it's people. Shall be lovers of their own self. Yeah, Rick, we don't see that. Okay, we even see that even in this awakening, there have been people, and I'm not saying, I'm not pointing any fingers, because like I always tell people, this is not about me. This is about lifting up our people to know that the Most High is frowning upon a lot of the things, even this awakening, that we think that his will is being done without constantly checking. It isn't like you just keep talking and you keep moving forward thinking that you're doing it well. Did you check in? Did you check in with the Father? Are you on track? Is your covenant still in place? Are you really doing what he asked you to do, or are you now going off on your own tangent? This is one of the things that I always have to ask myself when I'm teaching these scriptures. See, because this is how many people are getting led astray by not even paying attention to what it really says in the book, by those who think they know and have understanding, but yet there's holes in their teaching. They may not always recognize it, but if you're smart enough to really understand that something doesn't fit when you just look at what's happening today, something's not right. Okay. But see, the point is, this is why you see people going along, because they claim that they live their lives day to day thinking they got it made, and they going, oh yeah, we got this, we gonna be good to go. But yet they're the first people in the line when certain fears start to break out. But they're supposed to be, or they're concerned about things that don't matter all of a sudden. They're all of a sudden concerning themselves with too many things. That you sure you're on the same path with the Most High? Do you really truly understand what's going on right now? Okay. For men shall be lovers of their own self, covetous. Okay, I'm guilty of that. I'll say it right now. Boasters. I've had my times when I've been a boaster. Proud. Oh yeah, I've been proud. Okay. Was I practicing a form of blasphemy when I wasn't in the truth? I'm pretty sure that the Most High was saying, you're doing something wrong here. Because in the captivity, we're going to be doing what? The ways of the Gentiles, and most of them don't even know they're blaspheming. Disobedient to parents. Yep. Unthankful. Yeah, there's been times when I feel like I've been like that. Unholy. Definitely. Without natural affection. Truth breakers, false accusers. Hey, I've accused somebody falsely. Incontinent, fierce, despisers of things that are good. Traitors, heady, high-minded, Lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High. Guilty. Having a form of godliness, I'm sure I'm telling you right now, many people know there's people who are fronting like they're godly, but they're denying the power thereof, okay? And he's saying from such, you turn away, okay? Now, what this awakening has done for us and what the Most High is doing in this time is giving us all a chance to repent from all of this. Truly repent. Wholly repent. So that we can return to the purity of the Most High. To understand what his will is, what his desire is, what he wants, what we should be focused on, what the things we should not be focused on, to always include him in everything that you do, and not just come visit him from time to time like you see the world doing, okay? Not just assuming you are something that you are not, like we see many people in the world doing. Not just assuming that your teacher is on point with his mindset at the time that you're teaching it. Okay? And get to hallelujah. Why is this so important? Because the problem that happens is, especially in this time when the Most High still has lying spirits out there, that's what the strong delusion means. There's still a lot of lying spirits out there. What spirit are you really in tune with? Are you sure you're in tune with the right spirit? Are you sure that even though you could still be considered righteous, are you still listening to things you shouldn't? You think it didn't happen to the disciples? Yeah, it did. If it didn't, you wouldn't have the problem with the 7 assemblies now, would you? When Yesiah came and was like, what are y'all doing? I know your works, but what are y'all doing? Okay. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with divers lusts, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Here we go. Led away with divers of lust, ever learning, never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. How do you come to the knowledge of the truth? To reject the needs of the flesh. To only focus on the needs of the spirit. Trust me when I say I still myself even need work in this area. Especially when you're surrounded by an environment that this is really the focus. What do you want? What do you need? What's about? Buy, sell. What do you want? How do you want to live? What do you want to do with your life? Everything's about what you want. And people seem to forget, are you sure you're really talking to the Most High? Because your focus needs to be about what he wants. I give honor to the Tokawist Church, the Kimbanguists, the Padi, those who follow these teachings of when the Most High began to bring back certain things that other people had forgotten or were afraid of or were still focused on the wrong things. You have to understand, there are many people walking around here today. And this is why you really can't even have most of the conversations with them because they're convinced that they've experienced things when they fail to realize that lying spirits can do witchcraft. The real witchcraft versus the Most High's power has similarities. However, the Most High's power will definitely bring forth light with it. You will experience certain things that you'll not see with someone who's actually in divination or witchcraft. Okay. Just case in point, just in the places that you live. And I love it when Brother Yanata says this all the time. If you put your trust in men, I will fail you. At some point, I will fail what you think of me. This is what's happening with why so many people are putting their trust by putting God into the mix, saying that these leaders are actually led by God or the Most High, or whatever you want to call it. But then you're seeing wicked things transpire. You have disagreements, you see lies, you see like these, like the Sola Paul is talking about in your churches, you know, in the assemblies and mosques, the synagogue. I don't know what they call the places where the Buddha people meet. I don't know what they call it. Sorry. And the Indian language, Indian culture. Okay. Now go to verse 8, and people don't even know. Okay, this right here, these two are back. This is why many people don't see the witchcraft, like you said in Kamata. Okay, these people matched Masa's ability step for step. This is exactly what like I told you, I talked about the alchemist. This is exactly what he's doing right now. He's trying to mimic what Tata nZambi is doing, or give you a stupid reason or a made up something for really what the Most High is doing, so that those who don't know what's going on are none the wiser. Because this is exactly what happened to the Egyptians, the Persians, anybody with captivity we were in. Okay, anybody who didn't understand what was really going on with the Most High, because He controls all things. Okay, you got to ask this question: why? Nobody ever bothers to ask the question. If you believe in the Most High, or God, or however you want to call Him, why is He roasting the United States with record heat that nobody's ever seen? If you're supposed to be, but then they'll say, well, no, we know that God will judge the sinners. Which is very true. But in your own families, you're being included in some of this. Like I love it when Masa said, our people, the true followers of the Most High, didn't have a lot of these sicknesses that you all of a sudden see happening today. We didn't know what, we never knew anything about any cancer. What was that? You really want to know what cancer is? Go to the Deuteronomy. Go to Leviticus. People don't even realize that these are things that come from the Most High's will to infect those who are disobedient. But the alchemist will tell you, oh, it's just hereditary. Oh, it's just because you drank this kind of water, or because you ate this kind of food, or something, it's just bad cells. Wait a minute. The same creator who knows every hair on your head and knows everything that you do with your walk and your life all of a sudden now he can't get rid of bad cells? Do you see how deceived many people are? But you go to church every Sunday and you pray for healing. But wait a minute, the pastor who's standing in front of you, he's supposed to have this power to ask the cancer to go, flee, leave, not run to the doctor every time. Isn't the Messiah, don't you say Christ in you? If Christ in you, Messiah was healing sicknesses. So wait a minute, what's really going on here? Now, as Janus and Jambres withstood, here we go, withstood Massa, so do these who also resist the truth. The Kongo. That's why when we coming out with this Bantu truth in Yisolele and about the true history of the Most High, and the Most High talking about the Kongo and the Lingala and all the different things and the origin, where we come from, where we've been, the modifications to the scriptures, okay? They are also resisting. Our own people are resisting this truth. Why? Because Muntu, men of corrupt minds, this is all of your secret society people, reprobate concerning the faith. Go back to Romans 1:18-32 when he talks about how he gave you over. The Most High gave you over to your thoughts with the Knights Templars, the Jesuits, all these different things, the Muslims, the Judaism, the Hindu, the what do you call them, the atheists, the satanic worshipers, the jealous-minded Bantus, Muntu, Benakongos, those who are causing friction, okay? Those who were standing up there listening to pastors every Sunday, hence this, like it says, and doing a lot of this stuff right here. There, you had pastors without natural affection. They were despisers of the things that were supposed to be good, because you're supposed to say, well, I'm gay. I'm a gay pastor. Wait a minute, what? That goes back to lovers of pleasure. Oh no, this is something that you can't, man, I'm telling you. Just like the demon of lust causes people to commit, is behind a lot of the wicked, lustful desires of sexual immorality, it goes the same way for homosexuality. It's the same demons. So you can talk that mess all you want, but once again, it goes back to the reprobate mind, reprobate concerning the faith. This is why even as we walk today, we allow jealousy and pride, where people are still thinking, man, this isn't no different when where we came back from. And I know this has happened in the past when people were dealing with a lot of the issues. But you're going back to, this is the problem, but where are you going back to? The same thing that already has a problem. So really, you should be looking forward to where the Most High will now take over and show you the direction you really should be headed, rather than thinking about what the men are doing and the people involved. Because the Most High deals with those, as he always does, that are creating confusion. It will happen, because he is not the God of confusion. Tata nZambi is not the creator umfumu of confusion. So if you are a person that is creating confusion, he will deal with that. Yisolele will also deal with that because it says we shall judge the nations. The Bana Betu. The Christians can believe whatever they want. That's up to them. But those of us who understand the real truth of the Most High, yes, you can be like a Christ-like mindset in this awakening somewhat, yes, because you want to treat people right. But the Most High is not Christianity. There was no Christianity when Adama was created. And he was all Christ-like mind. So religion is the problem. Like Pastor Mello said, there's a difference between Christ and Christianity. Big time. There's a difference between Yesaya Kongo and in the Jesus Christ that is now taught today. This is why he said, if you see us teaching, if you hear another Jesus, our knucklehead selves didn't run away from it. That's why we ended up on the boat. We knew who they were talking about. Don't let the historians keep lying to you, black people. When the Catholic Church showed up in Angola and the Kingdom of Congo and Embo, where most of the Bantus were, we knew who they were talking about. But our ignorance of jealousy, our pride, and all the different things caused us to receive something that we knew that wasn't true. The same problem we always have since the Most High brought us to Canaan to create Yisolele, Yisolele, not Israel, didn't exist. You believe it if you want to, but it was never called that. Even the Palestinians know. That's why they keep arguing. It was never called that. It's never here. You guys were never here. Why did it? I don't understand. Why would they say that if it wasn't true? I don't understand. Do you think they're just making it up? They were Shemites. They're Shemites mostly. They're not really Hamites. They're mostly Shemites. People don't even understand the people who are calling themselves Canaanites are actually transplants, hybrids. That's why they don't even, the real, you can find real Canaanites that are dark. My sister found them in South Africa. She's like, she's like, oh, we're Canaanites. What? What do you mean you're Canaanites? I thought Canaanites were up there by Palestine. No. She took the pictures just like what happened with Truthonville. Canaan. Okay. It is what it is. I'm not going to argue, but the point of the matter is many people, because of how we feel we're interpreting what we've been shown, because I'll be the first one to tell you, the Most High showed me something and I interpreted it incorrectly. And he's like, no. It's not like what this is what it's like. Oh, I got it wrong. Yes. I've done a video where I had to correct myself on a few things. Did the disciples get it wrong sometimes? Yeah. The Abafundi, they got it wrong. See, the problem is that when we stop thinking that we can't be corrected by the Most High, then what purpose do we serve? This is the problem of many of the pastors in Christianity that are going to be highly corrected by the Most High. They stand up there every day in the pulpit thinking that they're preaching the real truth to you in their messages. Many of them believe in everything that they say, but yet the Most High is looking at them like, what you just taught, no, that's not how it went down. Who told you that? I remember one time I was listening to a preacher and I hear this voice, I hear the spirit of the monitor saying, no, that's not how it went down. This person's making it up. This person's listening to a deceiving spirit. This is how I was starting to learn that they can make up stories in the church to make you believe what they say. I didn't know. I always used to listen to them. Okay, that's a good story, yeah. But the Most High said, did you really learn anything from this? Did they do anything supernatural at all? Where's the power with the message? Did that pastor heal anybody today? Did he do anything Christ-like besides stand up there and talk? And when he tried to do it, did it look real or did it look like he was using some kind of sorcery? You see, even Simon the sorcerer did certain things that made the disciples look like, huh? What? But yet, you have those who never even seen what that even would have looked like, questioning what somebody else is doing when they don't even know what the other stuff looked like to begin with. How many times have you seen a person change in front of your very eyes? Like Simon the sorcerer did, where he became a little boy, where he became an old woman, where he became a young man. When the prophet Elijah even prophesied that he would do that, which is going to happen again. He probably has done it. I'm going to tell you right now, you've probably seen several people on TV, on the movies, even in the social media, that that person is not even who they really are. They're a different person. But you think they're going to tell you that? No. That the person that you're looking at, that's not really what they look like. They're actually a young man, and you're looking at a young woman. Whoa, nice lady. And Satan's sitting there laughing like, no, that's actually a young boy that shapeshifted into a young lady. Because like Masa said in his video, this is a war among the gods, and the gods can be in the flesh. They come in the flesh all the time. This is one of the reasons why the devil had to make movies to make it look like they're always in hell, when that's not always the case. Because the harsh reality of our understanding is we label things according to what we think the Most High is saying about it. This is one of the reasons why many people who started to attack certain things that they didn't understand are now actually being humbled. Even though there are others that still want to say something doesn't look right. Okay. Never even heard of Nkisi before. For Ngunza. Didn't even know that we had ancestors that could walk through and that could come out of their chains and walk through the ship. Transparent, jump back in the water, start swimming back for home. Yeah. You know, they were like, where did he go? Where did she go? Did she drown? Walking on the bottom of the ocean. Bye. Peace. Close bracket on that one. Not everybody was. We'll leave that alone. Anyway. Oh, that's witchcraft. You said that she was walking on the bottom of the ocean with all that water. Did she get crushed with the weight? Scientists saying, oh, no. That's not possible, man. No, the weight of the water would have crushed that person. What did Yesaya say? With man, it is impossible. With the Most High, it is possible. That's why I like that picture that the person showed in Haiti with the old man. He's sitting under the water just chilling. What's up? Hey, that's witchcraft. He's just sitting down there just chilling, looking up at you, taking a picture under the water, just hanging out. How's he doing that? Don't think that the sorcerers, like it says right here, they withstood Massa. So like right now, you have sorcery going on in the scientific world that they're claiming to be scientific when they're trying to withstand Kongo. That's why he said they're going to make war against the land, but he will overcome them. Isaiah 33:22. Don't think that the Masonic people don't look at this scripture to put themselves in this position with their numerology. For Tata nZambi is our judge. The Most High is our lawgiver. Wait a minute. Moses gave us the law. But wasn't it Moses? Massa gave us the law. Yesaya gave us he fulfilled the law. Hold up, wait a minute. What is it saying? For Tata nZambi is our judge. For the Most High is our judge. The Most High is our lawgiver. The Most High is our king. Wait a minute. How many people put King Jesus up there on the top? Wait a minute. King and King Jesus with the Most High together, one person, one. He will save us. Now, this is where so many Old Testament only folks want to say that there was no Yesaya, no Jesus. Did you ever ask the Most High how? Sorry, my phone ringing and I can't. Okay. Sister calling me. I'm on a video. For the Most High is our judge. The Most High is our lawgiver. The Most High is our king. He will save us. And what did Master say? He used humans. How many times have I said, does he even get up off the throne? Really? I mean, he could, but does he really? Do you even know? Did he not send the Malaki to talk to Malia? Malia Ma, we don't know that. Mary. Who did he send? Umbasi? Why do you think in the Lingala language we call each other Malekis? Yes. I heard the pastor singing the song, I'm a Malaki, not a Bundoki. When he was saying, I'm an angel, not a witch, not a wizard, what he was saying, I'm an angel, not a wizard. Wait a minute. How can the man be the wizard? Wait. Aren't angels only supposed to be invisible, flying around with wings and everything? How can that man be a Maleki? How can he be an Umbasi? What's really going on here? Every time, why do you think they got to make the images of the angels imprint, 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 imprint? This is what you see. This is what you know. Therefore, when I see it and it's wrong in my mind, wait a minute, I've seen the angels, what they look like. I've seen the images when the Most High even said, do not make any graven images unto what is above nor below or in the sea, especially when he know that graven image is wrong. Did you even ask the Most High, is that what the Malakis look like, the angels? Do they look like that? Do you even ask him? God, do your angels look like that? This is the issue with the problem of what you assume is the knowledge you know versus what is the knowledge the Most High knows. This is why he said, my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways. So just because you standing up there, you've been preaching this thing, there's been preachers that have been preaching the gospel, according to them, for 30 some years. Oh, I've been walking with Jesus for 30 some years. You can't tell me I don't know Jesus. There are people who have been walking with the Most High that do know the Most High. But did he tell you everything? We prophesy in part and we reveal in part. You cannot just assume that because you were favored with information, because I know I have learned this myself. This is why I have to be humble, even with the Ayukuya Seer, the brother. Man, he was breaking down stuff. Wow. I'm humble right now. I got so much more to learn. Hallelujah. Especially with the language. Kimbu, I got to learn more things. Angai. Sonini Nanini in Angai is also the I am. Malamu, Azali Malamu. Okay. I got to still learn, you know, Inyoso, all these different things. And what I'm trying to say is, even when you have reached a high level of knowledge with the Most High, don't think he can't turn around and shock you with something that you thought, what? I thought I knew that already. That's the problem. You could never, 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 never reach the point where you think you have the knowledge. This is the problem with what's happening to the world right now. They think they know, and they don't have a clue. This is why they can't even see the images of Satan in front of their face. But swear up and down they worshiping God. Oh, come on. This is why many of us are finding ourselves putting our foot in our mouth after you went out and spit all of this stuff about somebody, and then they come back and slap you in the face. Boom. Oh, man. I guess I was wrong about that. But do you really say it, though? Because I'll tell you right now, you know, when I looked at Ezekiel 37, 37, all those years I never really understood what he was talking about until Brother Yanata and Brother Kefas and Pastor Mello and all these started breaking it down. But then I learned something from the Agikuyu seer that takes it even further than that. Whoa! That's what it really means. What? Now, of course, Brother Massa kind of revealed something similar to what he said, but he took it to another level too within that. I was like, oh, okay. Wow. And that's when I really began to understand, you know, just like when I learned about Guatemala, that wasn't even Spanish. I was like, what? No, it's not Spanish word. It's a Mandinka word. Oh, okay. Yacuba, with the island of Cuba, is really Yacuba. Oh, so there were Bantus there. How did they get over here before the Southland? Oh, the so-called Islamic slave trade. Aha. Even before that with the Romans? Interesting. Oh, they hid the fact that the Romans and the Egyptians were over here? In North America, the Egyptians were over here too? Oh, yeah? Oh, because of one continent thing. They're lying about the continental drift stuff. Because science comes from the alchemists. Just like I told you, the Janus and Jambres, they were using the alchemists. He was there. I remember, like I said, it tripped me out. I went to a hospital. I saw the pharmakia. It looked just like it would have been Thoth's workshop. And they laughed and said, ha, 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 when I mentioned it. Wow. Why do you think they're laughing? Because they know. Because they know that there's some suckers out there. They think they believe what they eat. They getting this medication. They think it's really doing something to them for a while. But is it long term? Does it fix something? People, I don't care what a doctor says. If he fixes you, then how does he have a job? If everyone is healed of their illnesses and diseases, like the way the Bible hopes that intends it to be, then how do they get paid? Just like when the cops would say, well, if you rehabilitate all the criminals, then what do you need me for? Do you think the Most High doesn't think like that? Well, we really don't we should never have to need you if you're really walking in the spirit and truth, Mr. Officer. Oh, this is a Christian nation, like they say. Yeah, we really shouldn't need you because we got all these people walking around with Holy Spirit power. How come? Wait a minute, what happened? Did you put the fear of God in that thief for real? Do they really fear you walking down the street? Did that drug dealer drop his gun when he started to see the power manifest? The saddest part about what I saw with Toko, his our own people threw this man in jail 17 times. And on one occasion decided they were tired of it. So they wanted to kill him. Because he would always get out. He's like, every day put him in jail. Man, how come he always keep getting, who's letting him out though? He wouldn't stay in there like most criminals right now doing 15, 20, 30 bid. And of course, what was his crime? He's preaching the truth that was making the colonizers mad, rousing up the natives. Okay. Then they decided, oh, we're going to cut this man up. And then when he came out the bag, what? That they have stuffed him in. And you don't even realize, okay, Bantu people, that's what you walked away from when you went on the slave ship 400 plus years ago. The Messiah was really, you had the true Messiah that the world was pretending that they were talking about, and you rejected it. What kind of, think about that. Wait a minute. We had the real power that the Catholic Church was fronting that they had. Start calling it witchcraft. So the Christians didn't catch on. No, this is the real Holy Spirit power. Got you also believing, what? That's witchcraft. Are you sure? Didn't even check with the Most High. What is this guy talking about? And then of course they do their little magic trick that they hide from people. So they say, oh, well, that must be true then. What? Do you see the problem? And even now, there are those of us listening to people, even in this awakening, fulfilling Matthew 24 about the true elect. That are allowing this false Messiah spirit to once again manifest itself, even as you're trying to leave the captivity. This is significant, people, because I and everybody else will be held accountable for the work that we did on this earth. And there's going to be many who felt that they were doing it the right way. Even myself, I have to make sure, am I really doing it the right way, Most High? Tata nZambi, am I missing something here? Where am I lacking? Well, you really need to practice your language more, working on that. You really need to help the people that are really focused on the real truth more than other things that don't matter. You really need to be listening a little bit more to these certain things, which this is what I'm focusing on. Now I'm really starting to listen and listen and listen. Because what's going to happen, people, is that even when, like I told you, there's a teaching I did on this through the Most High, through Yesiah, whom you choose to listen or follow can still get you killed. Even if you are considered the elect. That's why he said, if possible, excuse me, deceive even the elect, which means that you were chosen. And yet the devil comes around and finds a way to still separate you from the Most High when you know better. This is significant. Why is it significant? Because this is the land of confusion. We're still technically in the world of confusion. So therefore, there are lying spirits everywhere. And the problem is they're not even coming from Shaitani. Let's go look at it again. Listen, remember who they coming. Remember who they can come from. I've had to pay attention myself a lot. Okay. Verse 11. And for this cause, you say God, we know that's pagan, but that's your choice. If you still want to go that route, Tata nZambi, you want to say Yahweh, Yepowa, Sonini Nanini, Sindisi, Yahweh, Kongo, the Most High shall send them. Who? No, Satan's sending these delusions out here. He's faking everybody out. He's faking everybody out. Why? Because this is one of the things that many of us still fall for, where it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Shaitani with all power. Whoa, wait a minute. So does that mean he can heal too? Well, we know he can't raise the dead because Aaliyah alluded to that. But can he fake it though? And signs and lying wonders. Which means that if you've never even seen it before, you can still fall for it. But does it mean though that it's always a lie? Isn't that the whole, y'all don't even understand the whole purpose of injuring the pineal gland. They literally created things that weaken and alter and destroy the pineal gland's ability to use the proper spirituality. One of them happens to be fluoride. I'm sticking to it. The brother even did a video on it when he talked about the dead water and everything. Chlorine. Oh, but we need to have. Yeah, but they need to take it out, but they don't. Chlorine can damage your brain too, and your intestines. With all deceivableness of unrighteous in them that perish. So he's saying he already knows. Like Paul is saying, that the nZambi's saying, hey, I already know who's going to perish. So why are you sweating it? Why are you getting all worked up about when people don't listen to you? I quit doing that. They don't want to listen? Oh, well, when things are actually only the obvious, it's like there's no possible way you can have all of these things happen at the same time just as a coincidence and think that your government is still treating you right. Really? Y'all not seeing that you're being played right now? Especially when I watched the video when the lady who's, of course they try to debunk her, married to a secret, she was married to a private ops, or what do you call it, intelligence man. He said Russia and the United States not enemies. And when I look at who now the target is, that it's always been about killing the black folks, especially the Bantu people. Now that makes perfect sense. Why they have to do things to make it look like they're trying to fight a war when they're really trying to kill the Bantu. But they can't tell you that, because then it destroys the delusion right here. Because they receive not the love of the truth. And the Most High is saying, your interpretation of the truth doesn't mean that you have the love of the truth. That's what we have now begun to learn. Your interpretation does not necessarily mean it's the right interpretation. This is why you got to go back to Kongo, the source. Just because you interpret it that way doesn't mean that it's the right interpretation. You got to check that. Doesn't matter who's standing up there in front of you. Make sure you know before you say. 100%. I know I have to make sure. Am I on point with this? There's a lot of changes in the scripture. Wanda and Sammy, is this you speaking, or is this the harlot? Don't think she ain't trying to sneak back in the back door just because you separated from her. Trust me on that one. Because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this, the nZambi shall send them. Strong delusion. Strong delusion means somebody's lying to you. We've been lied to for many years. My sister Talia even said, wow, the layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of lies. Yeah, and our people are helping it. That's the part that's the most. And I was listening to a song, and it's funny because it was a medley in Lingala. Beautiful songs. And I'm sitting there saying, man, some of these people live in the United States and they singing like that. They know this connection. Are they even teaching anybody? Or are they just keeping it to themselves? Do you realize how many people could wake up if you actually ran into a Bantu that speaks the language, that actually decided to do what they're supposed to do? instead of living in the delusion? When many of these people know, yeah, we know this, well, then teach it to somebody. Don't just sit there and chill in the country, be like, oh yeah, we here, United States, hey, you shouldn't even, man, I'll never understand that. Especially now. You see what's happening to us and other people in other places. Why would you, but then they make it look like, well, Africa's really bad, and I love it what Masa said. Africa's only bad because you believe the Mundele over Tata nZambi. If you would actually listen to Tata nZambi, Bantu people that live in the Kongo and that live in Kenya and Tanzania and Namibia and South Africa and Mozambique and all those different places, if you were listening to Yambe, Tata nZambi, Zumbi, all of that, Modimo, in spirit, rather than listening to what you've been taught by the Mundele, because we got a lot of black pastors that go over to Africa too, from over here teaching you their lies that they learned over here. Close bracket. Yes. TD Jakes is not your friend in Africa. I don't care what you say. That man is teaching you lies. We know this here in America for those of us that pay attention to what he's really preaching. He's not preaching the truth. He even said it himself when he was asked by a Hebrew Israelite. Teaching the truth, he said, if I teach the truth, teaching the truth does not pay. All those millions of dollars he has will go woo, down the drain. And he knows that. And out of his own mouth, in a video that I was watching him, he said America was not founded upon Christianity. Bingo. In the Knights Templar, they know that because they were not really Christians. And technically, they even know that the Christianity that existed wasn't even the true version. Ask the Eastern Orthodox people, the Coptics, they know. There was a much purer form. Without all the paganism that they're forced actually to celebrate, by the way, which they really shouldn't be. That is the problem. You know, I watched all of the hand gestures on a video because I remember when I first saw that video, and I was familiar with the Masonic hand gestures already by that time. I'm sitting there looking at them like, why y'all keep putting all these hands? I didn't even recognize the time. I'm watching them singing in the Lingala, dancing like the Malekis to the Most High's type of music. But they putting up all kind of Masonic hand gestures, and I'm like, this is how the Khazars, the Ashkenazi people, you have allowed the false Messiah to sneak back into Embu and teach a false version of your own Messiah to you, and you don't recognize it. Because out of what? Loyalty to whom? Why do we want to always be so doggone loyal to Baal? It's ridiculous. We don't ever learn. Even after Eliah destroyed the prophet, and of course there are those who claim, let them believe what they want to believe, that's their choice. They don't even realize that Baal's deceiving them too to make them believe that they are the people. Yeah, the Talmud was created by Nimrod. Their version of it, though. We have a Talmud. Hence the reason why we must come to the revelation of these times, because the Most High himself is going to trip you up, because many people have not received the love of the truth. Even though they talk about it, even though they up and down Isaiah Kongo, Kuswa Kongo, Pastor Mello, all this other stuff, okay? But yet they have not received the love of the truth, or else they would be aspiring to grow into the language, into the customs, into the culture, into the original ways taught by the really true. What does Isaiah say? We know not what we worship. You know not what you worship. We know what we worship. Are you back to that? Or are you staying in the harlot with one leg dangling inside? Got that toe in there. Got that toe in there. Or did you release completely? I got my safety net. I don't know about this stuff, man. I got my safety net. I don't know. I got a safety net. I got to put my, I don't want to come all the way out, because something could be wrong with this. It don't, my fear, something in my spirit don't feel right. Okay. But is it the spirit of the Most High, or is it one of his strong delusions? Is it the spirit of the Most High, or is it one of his strong delusions that you would believe a lie? Because this is exactly what happened to our ancestors. He's like, okay, you want to believe this stuff? Not only you out of here, but go follow your lovers and stay in your delusion. Huh? He's really kicking us out of here? Brother, you really selling me into slavery? Yeah, the Most High said, get out of here. She's still calling me. Hold on a second. Let me call it. No, sorry about that. Hold on. Sorry. Everybody talking about these Hebrew Israelites that got punched by the cops. As I know, that's part of it, but it's going to escalate. It's going to get worse than that. People don't even know. But what I'm saying is that they all might be damned. He's saying it right here. Who believe not the truth, which is the truth of Isaiah Kongo, of Kuswa Kongo, of the Mosa of Yakongo, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. That could even include doing something the Most High said, I don't want you going that way. You gonna get caught up in that. You better check the spirit on this person before you go that way. What is the agenda here? Are you really going according to my will, or do you have an alternative agenda? Because right now, most people don't understand. We don't have, as you can see what now is going on in the world right now, you don't have time for ulterior motives. You don't have time to start doing things your way, even with the truth that you have, doing it your way. Because in all reality, with the way they're operating right now, they are one unit. You don't get it. The Mundele, the going, they don't understand that the people who are trying to do wickedness against the Most High's people right now are unified in their front. They playing out the script. Okay, here. You do this, you do this. They playing out the script, trying to counter what we're bringing. What the Most High is doing. Okay, they're going to get ahead of that, get ahead of that, get ahead of that. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Okay, the Most High is like, okay, I'm doing this here, I'm doing this here. Throwing them off. Oh, what did he do? Okay, counter. Okay. This is the game, this is what's going on now. It's a chess match between the Most High and the kingdom of darkness. He's always staying several moves ahead of what they're going to try to do to counter it. But then he looking at you like, what you doing over here? Get back over here. This is what lane are you in? I don't got time for this. Okay, I'll move on from you. I'm going to this person. Now you get this going right here. Don't think that the Most High won't just change it up. If he see that you're going in a route like, give it to him. Let you do it. You on point right now. You get this going. This person, I don't know what he's doing. I didn't tell him to do that. Don't think the Most High can't change it up. Trust me. He can decide, I've had enough of what you're doing. You need to go do, nah, I'm done. I'm going over here. Get it together. Because in all reality, no preacher is going to tell you he is lying. No priest, no imam, no rabbi, no Buddhist, monk, none of these people. Even the ones that know they lying aren't going to come out and say, oh yeah, we lying. Until Tata nZambi does what? Forces it. Oh, we were lying? What? That's why he says that they all might be damned. Because he's saying, if you don't want to believe the real truth, if you don't want to focus on the will of the Most High that he is ordaining, not what man is ordaining. Like, I've had to learn this myself. It's not about what I want, Father Tata nZambi. This is not about me. Never. I'm not here to get famous. I'm not here to gain likes, followers, subscribers. That's not the agenda here. I've said that several times. The agenda is to get you out of harm's way so that you don't suffer. What this world is about to experience. 2/3 have to die. It's written. That means forever in the ground, demolished, destroyed by whatever means the Most High ordains it to happen, that these people think that they're running the show when he's like, yeah, right. Quit listening to these liars. Whatever he chooses to send upon the earth to kill 2/3 and to kill tares, what that the wheat, we're talking about the wheat and the tares grow together. Okay, you better make sure you're on point with the wheat, because if you're not on point, in the furnace. Bye. We love our elders. We love our young people. We love everybody that's doing stuff. That's why I said Brother Baya is a man that I listen to occasionally, and Pastor Mello, and various others, and not the Masa. The reality is, you cannot forget. Okay, is the Mwanda really telling you something? Or did the Most High decide to send you a strong delusion because you did your own thing, despite the fact that you're supposed to be chosen? Did he allow Baal to sneak in there and give you a false revelation, a false knowledge, a false teaching, or see things something a little wrong? Okay? It's not going to be funny, people, when he says, when he has now, and Masa talked about it, he has marked people to be damned, and they cannot remove that mark. But we are bound to give thanks, Matona Masakijila, always to Tata nZambi, brethren beloved of the Most High, because Tata nZambi has from the beginning. Okay, let's go. From the beginning, foundation, chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Mwanda and the belief of the truth. So like he's saying, before the foundation of the earth, the Most High know who was going to be damned and who was going to be saved. Even those that he may have chosen may end up being damned. He's aware of it. He knows who's going to make it all the way through and who's going to fall off. I don't even know. Even those who have been given knowledge of the truth can be caused to fall off. I remember Simon Toko said it very well. Get these false Tokoists out of my sight. They coming up in here making everything all messed up. Just like the Most High said, just because he's talking to you, or the Most High, I'm talking to you, that doesn't mean that can't stop. Ask King Saul. The Most High chose him to be the king of Yisolele. What did he do? Oh, no. I can't take you anymore. You're messing up. Cut him off. And he was anointed as king of Yisolele. And the Most High said, I'm moving over to King Dawidi. He's going to be the king now. Get Saul out of here. And Saul, not wanting to receive his fate, tried to kill Dawidi. Rather than just say, okay, I'm done. Okay, I'll walk over here. No, that's the problem with Bantu people. Even if you get cut off, you're going to be like Esau. I want revenge. That can't work. Payback. This is the problem. I must accept my fate if the Most High has decided that I am no any more use to him. Not sitting there and start sabotaging other people's way to their salvation. That's not the way it's supposed to be. You got a whole lot of pastors already doing that. Not correctly teaching Yokana 422 to any of their congregations. Replacing their congregation with the sheep when the Most High already gave you who the sheep are in the Old and the New Testament, New Covenant. I came not only to the lost sheep of Yisolele, Israela, or just say Israel. Okay, but not the Israel you think. Did Josiah come? Is he even talking to the Khazars? I doubt it. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm pretty sure he's not talking to those dudes bowing to the wall. Since it's the lost sheep of Israel. Who are these dudes? Do I even know them? The rabbis already know he is not coming to talk to them. That's why they had to make up their own. To make it look like, oh, here comes the Messiah. Man, come on. Not even biblical. Not even in the scriptures of their own Torah, the Tula. The true Tula, but made it up in their Torah. They made that Torah up. You're going to find out. Ridiculous. Anyway, I want to say, Kim nZambi Mazulu, Kim Fumu Kyaku Isa once again. You know, this is going to be some trying times ahead of our people because this is something that we know that there's a group of individuals on this earth. I'm going to tell you right now, who's leading this charge right here to create the problem for this are the 1%ers. The 1%ers who control the wealth. This is what they're working to prevent this because of who they listen to, despite what they tell. Man, come on. My former boss, he works for Satan 100%. And oh yeah, he knows it. The person that's out there telling you what's healthy and what's not healthy for you is not even a doctor. Oh, better believe he works for Lucifer. But you people taking what he's telling, I'm like, oh my gosh. That's why I was so frustrated with even many of my own family members. I said, the person who is encouraging you to take a form of medication doesn't even have an MD in front of his name, but you're trusting it. What are you talking about? Never took any type of MCATs. People, is it because of what happened? Yeah, I understand there is a risk of going against Babylon, but guess what? Like Isaiah said in the hidden gospels, if the wolf kills the sheep, then what do the sheep have to worry about? This is why we need to go back to remember this scripture here. I'm just going to read the whole thing. The burden of the word of Tata nZambi to Yisolele by Malachi. This is an angel, an Umbasi. Malachi is an angel. I have loved you, says the Most High. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacobi's brother? Jacob, I didn't call that. Says the Most High, yet I loved Jacobi and I hated Esau. He still hates Esau. That never changed. And laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. And he's going to do it again because he came back. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will. This is how we know they came back right here. He says, Edom's going to come back. You're standing in it. Bigger and better. He keep coming back. Bigger and better. He knocked it down, coming back. Whereas Edom said, we are the impoverished, but we will return and rebuild the desolate places. With what? With what? He was impoverished. Edom was impoverished. Where'd they get the money from? Where'd it come from? Think about that. He had to take it from somebody. Who was the wealthiest of all? Pay attention. But we will return and rebuild that place. Thus says Tata nZambi of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down. And every time they build it back, they always try to say, okay, now we need to be indestructible to fire, water. We need to be indestructible to tornado, hurricane. That's the reason why you have weatherproofing. It has nothing to do with the weather. It's because the Most High, you standing in Edom, and he's knocking it down. And they're trying to say, we got more stuff that you can't knock down. That's the real reason why Rothschild trying to make indestructible cities right now. The border of wickedness and the people against whom the nZambi hath indignation forever. And your eyes shall see, and you shall say that the nZambi will be magnified from the border of Yisolele. Yeah, buddy, it's about to happen. So honoreth his father and his servant his master. Even if I be a father, where is mine honor? That's what the Most High is telling us right now. Yisolele, where is mine honor? I am your father, not Esau, pretending to be you. So why are you paying homage to Baal right now? Right now, you got Baal as your father. Where's his honor? Yes, the majority of the world right now is worshiping Baal. His image is everywhere. His name is everywhere, and you still don't see it. So where's Yakongo's honor? That's what he's saying. If I be master, where is my fear? Exactly. You got people running around from stuff that the devil has got people twisted with. Running from the Most High said, I am not I don't give you a spirit of fear. So why are you running? What are you scared of right now? Obviously, you're not my people. Because you said, if I be the master, where is the fear of Tata nZambi and Pungo Tilendo? You afraid of everything else but him. Phew. Says Tata nZambi of hosts unto you, O priest, that despise my name. Okay, so if everybody's saying God, we don't despise God. We don't despise Lord. Then he must go by something else. Because he's saying the priest despise his name. Better believe it, because the people that know it aren't even saying it in the country that they live in that belongs to him. Close bracket. And you say, wherein have we despised thy name? You offer polluted bread upon mine altar, and you say, wherein have I polluted thee? And you say, the table of the Most High is contemptible. What does contemptible mean for those that don't understand it? Almost done. Despicable, detestable, hateful, reprehensible, deplorable, loathsome, shameful, disgrace. Right now, we are a disgrace. And we made him a disgrace. That's why the world don't even know the real truth. But listen to lies. And if you offer the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil? Yeah, we used to do this. This is Bantu people doing this, not the who you call it people. This is our people doing this. Okay? Go back to 11. From the rising of the sun, even unto the going down of the same, my name shall be great. Hold on. Hold on. I thought the Gentiles were his people. I thought the Gentiles are supposed to be adopted as sons. So why is he telling you my name will be what? Great among the Bango, the Mundele, the Kadiampemba, the Ngoingoi, the Gentiles. And in every place shall incense shall be offered unto my name, which we call him Abba Tatanzambi Yakongo. For my name shall be great among the heathen. So obviously they're still heathens. And they're not who they think they are. And they're not what they think they are. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's see, I wanted to do. I think it's Malachi 3. Behold, I will send my messenger. That doesn't always, that means why we say Maleki Kongo can also be Yisolele, and he shall prepare the way before me, and Tata nZambi who you seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant whom you delight. Behold, he shall come, saith Tata nZambi of hosts. But who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire and like fuller's soap. He's going to be cleaning some people up. And he shall sit as the refiner and purifier of silver. He shall purify the sons of the Malawi, not Levi, Malawi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto Tata nZambi an offering in righteousness. Then shall the offering of Yaounde and Jerusalem be pleasant. Wait a minute. I thought it's supposed to be the church. I thought it's supposed to be the Catholic Church, the Protestant Church, the Orthodox Church, wait a minute. No, he's saying, then shall the offering of Yaounde and Jerusalem. Wait a minute. Are you talking about those Khazars over there? The people who now saying they got the Messiah here? I don't think so. Unto the Most High, as in the days of old and as in former years. I will come near to you to judgment. I will be swift witness against the sorcerers. They're going down. Masa talked about it. The witchcraft is over. And against the adulterers, those who don't worship false gods, not just commit adultery, and against false swearers, so those who think they know Tata nZambi, but are not even close. Those who think they know the creator, but are way off. And against those that oppress the hireling in his wages, the widow, the fatherless, and that turn aside the stranger from his right, and fear not me. Because you got a lot of people walking around doing all of this stuff right here. Now let me go to this. For I am Sonini, Ngai, Tata nZambi, I change not. So for those of you listen to these preachers that say, oh, but now the Most High love everybody. But now the Most High, he God's all about love, and he gonna do this, and God's this and this. But didn't he just finish saying, Yakuba I love, but Esau I what? Does he not the same yesterday, today, and forever? So why all of a sudden now in the churches, he's always the God of love? What, nobody dying? From certain things, like, woo, how he got killed like that? You forget that nobody died without the Most High permission on this place. Hello? That's in the scriptures. Satan couldn't kill Yaounde without. Whoo, y'all better get it right. I'm telling you, many people getting false doctrine. They don't know. Therefore, wait a minute. Who's he talking to? These are people adopted as sons he's talking about, right? The adopted as sons? Or the son? Wait a minute. Therefore, ye's Bana Yakuba, sons of Jacob, Bana Yakubi, are not consumed. That means everybody else must be, because he's talking about Yisolele right there. You better be rocking. And those who run, the remnant better be coming, man. Even from the days of your fathers, ye are gone away from mine ordinances and have not kept them. Return unto me. Yisolele, that's to you. Betu, that's to you. And I will return. How does it work? Yisolele has to return unto the Most High, and he will return as individuals. A few people return, or a nation. When will he return? This is why they're trying to keep us clashing, because they know the nation has to return for Tata nZambi to what? This is why they're trying to mess with your head right now. All of this technology, you don't even know what it's for. Oh, it looks good. Says Tata nZambi, but you said, when shall we return? And this is all, they love to use this the wrong way. Will a man rob the Most High? Yet you have robbed me. But you say, wherein have you robbed me? In tithes and offering, which has nothing to do with the church house, but what the Most High said that you were promised to do as a nation of Yisolele when he tell you what to bring to the priests. Because you're mistreating the Bana Betu with your jealousy, pride, and what? Unwillingness to give to your brother and sisters. Hence the reason why you got put on the slave ship and brought into captivity, because you were doing what? Robbing him. Now, let me expose Christianity right here when they want to read this in the church house. You are cursed with the curse, for you have robbed me, even this whole nation. Nation of who? Christians, churches, pastors, United States, Europe. What nation is he talking about? You check. You better check this whole nation part. This has nothing to do with religion. Satan has deceived the whole world, people. You better get it. You better figure out who you really worship. You know not what you worship, because salvation is of the nation of Yisolele. Don't think that Toko didn't know that. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse. And I remember one time he said, when they were preaching this, he said, the Romans destroyed my storehouse. So where are you bringing the tithes? The Romans, our storehouse got jacked up when we had a storehouse when before the what do you call them? The Portuguese came. Where's my storehouse? Where's the storehouse? You better ask the Most High where the storehouse is. Masa knows. Pastor Miller, they know that there may be meat in my house, and prove me now wherewith, says the Most High of hosts. Where is the Most High's house? It's the church building. Oh, there's a lot of church buildings out here, thousands upon thousands. Those are all the Most High's house? Where is Tata nZambi in Kongo Talendo's house? Where is the Most High? Where is God's house for real? People are going to be stayed in shock coming up soon. And prove me now wherewith, says the Most High of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing, that ye shall not be room enough to receive it. Wait a minute. Are those people going to the prosperity doctrine, people's churches, are they getting blessings that they are overfilled with from giving it to people like Joyce Myers, T.D. Jakes, what's his name? What can't, you know who I'm talking about. All of these people, the Pope. Hey, wait a minute. You giving tithes and offering to the Pope, which is getting cut off the top of your taxes, by the way. Wait a minute. I'm giving 60% of my taxes to the Pope. Why do I have to? Why am I so broke in my house? Isn't that supposed to be the Most High house, the Vatican? We giving tithes and offering to the priest at the house and the cardinal, but I'm driving a jalopy outside. What's wrong with this picture? But the Most High says, when I bring the tithes and offering to his storehouse, I'm supposed to receive blessings that there's not room enough to receive it. And he even showed you in the scripture where Yesiah said the woman who brought the last of what she had was better than those who brought just a little bit. But yet you got people giving their last to these churches, to the pastor. Where's the blessing from the Most High that I can't, that's not big enough that I can't receive it? Maybe there's something wrong. Almost through. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes. So he gonna tell you, guess what, Yisolele? Those who are devouring, I'm rebuking them. Remember, we're still in the Old Testament now, so this can't be talking about the new covenant yet. This can't be talking about Yesiah yet. So it got to be who? And shall not destroy the fruits of your ground, neither shall your vine cast her fruit before in time fields of the Most High of Hosts. All nations shall call you blessed. Who? Who's going to be called blessed? The Catholic Church, the Protestant churches, they're going to be called blessed. The Orthodox people. Oh, just the Tokwis by themselves, just the Kimbanguis, just the potties. No. Who's he talking to? They're gonna be included into, as long as they're teaching the straight doctrine. They're supposed to be creating the house of Yisolele for us to be with them. According to what this says, the nation of Yisolele is not just the Tokawis church, but all of the Bana Betu, the diaspora, scattered. You shall be a delightsome land, says the Most High of Hosts. What land? Where is this land at? Toko told us where he set it up. This is going to be Mount Sinai. This is Mount Sinai. This is Mount Zion, Mount Sinai. Mount Yesiah, Kongo. Yesiah got his own mountain. Where New Jerusalem will be. Where is that at? Y'all can keep talking about Palestine all you want to. Nimrod got everybody fooled with that. Your words have been stout against me, said the Most High. Yet you say, we have spoken so much against thee. You have said, it is vain to serve the nZambi. What profit is it that we have kept his ordinance and that we have walked mournfully before the Most High of Hosts? And now we call it the proud happy, yea. They have worked wickedness. They that work wickedness are set up. Yes, even today, they are set up nicely. That they that tempt the Most High are even delivered. Delivered where though? There's a false rapture. I told y'all it's going to be some falsehoods coming. Because the Most High can deliver those who tempt him too. Well, let's see what's going to happen with that though. What's the Most High going to do with that? Better find out. Then they that feared Tata nZambi spake often one another, and the Most High hearkened and heard it. And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared Kongo. And that doesn't mean you have to you're not to say that ain't about fearing him like, oh my gosh. No, it's about you know him for who he is. Like as your father, you come to him, you know at any minute he can, but you still have a relationship anyway. In that day, when I make up, it says, and they shall be, it says, for them that fear and that they thought upon his name, and that thought upon his name, and they shall be mine, says Tata nZambi, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own Bana that serveth him. Did he spare Yesiah? Yeah. He still had to fulfill what he's supposed to do, but the Most High raised him up. Then shall ye return and discern between righteousness and the wicked between him that serveth the Most High, him that serveth him not. So you're going to know. That's what he's trying to tell us, right? This is what I've been telling you when I started this. He will know who truly serves him. That's why Masa says when it all comes down, the Most God is going to know who really is from the Most High and who isn't. You're going to be able to discern this. Who's the fake and who's the real? Who did the Most High really call and who is faking like he called them? For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. Wait a minute, whose house is the stubble? Esau's house. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, said the Most High, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. And that's what they showed you in the movie, knowing no one can be saved. Everybody's going to be burned. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness, that's a capital S, arise with healing on his wings. See, y'all don't think the Messiah was in the Old Testament? Hello? Y'all, all y'all Old Testament people, here go Hamashiach right here. With the healing in his wings, ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall, and ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the sole of your feet. Who will be doing this? Who's going to be doing this? Let's go. They're going to tell you who's going to be doing it right here. For they shall be ashes under feet, that I shall do this, says the Most High. Remember ye, here you go, the law of Masa, my servant. Who was this given to? Yisolele, which I command unto him in the Horeb for all of Israel, with the statutes and judgment. Behold, I will send you Eliah, they call Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great day and the dreadful day of the Most High, when we know Kimbangu, as Master said, and Pastor Miller was saying, guess who he was? Also was your Connor the Baptist. So this cannot be when the Messiah came 2,000 years ago. This got to be now. Because he's talking about before the judgment of the Most High. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, of the heart of the children of their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. And this is what Kimbangu, then given to Toko and Padi, now given to those of us who now serve this truth, have come to do. Can Eliah the prophet also be in other people? Bantus? Can Eliah be talking to you right now? Who is Eliah right now? We have said this before. The elder, our ancestry in the Masos High can still be talking to you and through you. Who is Eliah? Who is Masa? Who is Isaiah? Who is Isaiah? Who is Yahweh? Who is Nehemiah? Can the Most High not send people to speak, to warn the people? That's why some will rise to everlasting life and everlasting shame who are waiting for that. As Reverend Massa broke that down, you think everybody just going to heaven right now? Oh, they died and they gone to heaven. I have proof even from before this awakening that there are people waiting for the judgment because of the scripture that says so. Because like I told you, how are you going to the Father when Yisolele is in exile? Because the way to the Father is through the door who is supposed to be in Yisolele, the nation. This is why they have to teach everything backwards. And people don't even realize it. Ingeta, hallelujah. So why am I saying this? You gotta understand it's not about you. It's not about what you've been taught. It's not about what the Most High revealed to you. It's not about the things that you know. It's about the Most High. Always. Always it's about Tata nZambi and Pungu Talendo and his desire, his will for his chosen people. And he can use whomever he chooses to get this point across to his nation. Period. So quit acting like the Most High has to only do it your way or my way or anybody else's way. It is his way. Tata nZambi knows. What it's going to take to bring his people home. How to navigate around the wicked so that they don't even see what's going on. How to cause people to not realize the truth. To send them lies running after their own tail, thinking they got it made. Well, no. A lot of people going to be shocked. A lot of people about to be stunned when they thought that they knew and didn't have a clue. That thought they had it the right way. Like I said, I don't have it all figured out. I'm still a work in progress myself. So how dare I try to tell somebody else what they ought to be doing in their walk? All I can tell you is be sure that you're not in the Most High strong delusion, but you are in the Most High's true spirit. Because it's out there. That strong delusion is strong. Trust me. People about to see it. Things happening right now that they don't even realize are going to catch people off guard. They didn't guard the house. The thief's going to come and break in, and you're not even ready for it. That's already started. People don't even realize the thief is already messing things up for them, and they thought they were ready. Anyway, may inaweza ya Kongo kutwala and kuswa Kongo, may he also reign in honor. May all the Bana Betu, may the Mwandan Semi continue to bring us to this truth, to reveal things to us that not everything's going to be in the open. Don't think, I've learned this myself. Don't think that everything's just going to come the way you expect it. There's going to be things coming in ways that you won't even see coming. from places you won't even believe. And that's the reality of this awakening, people. The Most High does it his way, not your way. And he chooses the means of how it gets there, not you and me or myself either. All right. Ngeta and Sambolola Zola Quingi.